Here's another example of some of that seed that I cast out, and then I'll just fold that in, and these chickens know that that's in there, and they're gonna work pretty diligently to try to get after it all day. I probably spend around 15 minutes a day coming out here and prepping this yard in advance of the chickens being let out, and something I actually really enjoy doing. The chickens actually benefit from it quite a bit. They enjoy getting out into this yard, and the benefit I get from the amount of compost that I'm able to generate that goes directly back into my soil here on the property is more than worth it to me. This is a pile that I just started 2 days ago. I don't really want the chickens to come in here and totally obliterate it because I'm trying to build some heat in it. Right now it's, oh, what do we got? Yeah, it's in the thermophilic range. So I'm gonna tarp this up. All these milk crates have a multitude of uses here in the chicken yard, and this is one of those uses. I'll use them as not only movable barriers, but just a way to secure things like tarps. As these chickens kick out material from these piles, I come through and I gather up some of the larger material, things like these bones and carbon that's going to take forever to actually decompose. Take this and I use it elsewhere on my property, which I'll show you in a minute. Windrow here is probably somewhere around 6 to 7 months old, and I've got these other piles that are developing. They're kind of in a resting phase, but they're also being actively worked by the chickens every day. I also will be using this in another project where I'll be using this as kind of a supercharged mulch. It's the best mulch money can't buy. One of the great things about these piles is just the depth and the amount of material contained within them. So the chickens actually never really get to kick these all the way open when they're in this stage. And there's a tremendous amount of soil life that lives down in there, as well as other treats if they want to work hard enough to find them. But if I dig down anywhere in here and turn this over, you can see that we have a lot of life starting to show. All the worms, and there's usually a lot of undigested sprouts as well. But all of these piles are incredibly rich with that sort of activity, sitting on probably another foot worth of material at grade level here. So there's a tremendous amount of volume of material in here for the chickens to work daily. I've got all this heavier mulch scooped up. So let me show you what I'm going to be doing with this. These are some fodder trees that I staked in about a month and a half ago. They're already starting to push out some new growth this spring. And I'll fish all these bones out, take this back over on the other side and use this to make biochar. But all of that heavier material is used as mulch rings around trees and elements along this line. One of the real beneficiaries from all this fertility is all of the trees and vines that I've planted in this yard. There's a Thompson seedless that was planted same exact time 2 years ago, and it was planted from something about this size. It had canes on it that were about this size, and now this is what it's looking like. Pretty amazing. All of these trees were planted from 5/8 inch caliper or less, and now this is a Chandler walnut that there's no way I can even get my hand around this thing. It's so massive. Here's an Indian free peach, planted same time, 5/8 inch caliper. Same story, just healthy and massive and loving life where it's at. This is a Pakistan mulberry. All planted same day, and again, extremely happy. Try putting your hand around that. Impossible. Pullets that just turned 4 months old yesterday, and they're still kind of in training. They really don't know that what's really going on is over in these piles, but they're learning. You've got some of them that are starting to get with the program. They still love coming out. Yeah, their food gets removed during daylight hours, and then they come in the yard and have a chance to do what chickens do. These are some of our 2023 pullets here. We're starting to get with the program. They've kicked these piles down a fair bit, but you can see that there's still a tremendous amount of mass. And so they'll never truly decimate all of the soil life that's in there. Looks like it's dinner time. That's one coop. We got too many in that coop, and we're gonna disperse them elsewhere. All right, rooster goes in that one. All right, come on, get back in there. Yeah, she goes in that coop. Got them all?
All right, B3.
Well, it's the following morning in the chicken yard, and the process starts all over again. I'm going to take a quick check of the temperature on that pile that I covered yesterday, and then I'm going to bury some snacks for these chickens, set up a time lapse, and let them go to work. Yeah, it's still holding just about the same temp, right around 140. I'm going to bury some things in here so that they will be encouraged to start working down a little bit deeper. Eggshells, they really go for these. These are a real prize. Of course, it's mixed with a bunch of worms. All the rest of these piles will remain how they were yesterday when I left them, because I want them to concentrate all their activity right here. This is a 3-hour time lapse sped up 16 times. And as you'll note, the more dominant chickens are on top of the pile doing most of the heavy lifting, and the less dominant are working the periphery and elsewhere in the chicken yard, finding snacks of their own. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.